that will affect us. We don't want it to affect us, of course.
And the least impact on the area, the least excess traffic, everything.
Well, again, all I can say for sure is that I know that there's been a lot of effort put into this. You can see that there has been some study done in the past. And I'm not aware of what results came out of any of that, what reasons they may have had for abandoning that.
Non-funding. It appears about 5 times in here. Okay. We haven't started the project because we don't have funding. Lord only knows when we'll get the money for this. I saw nothing that said the plans didn't work out, the studies were bad, St. John's Water Management District turned us down. A number of times it was stated in here by Warren Pike was one of them, I think maybe the Curry whatever said, it hasn't moved forward, there's no funding. Lord knows when it's going to move forward. So I think that was a big problem at the time, was funding. Might have been other things, but I have not found it.
Okay. Well, all of that you've gotten from the city.
Yes.
So I will be getting it apparently through the internet because it sounds like they're going to send us everything that y'all have requested.
Great. Good.
Did you also have a question on the public records?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to request again because I asked for public records of any flooding issues that have happened in Riverwood, River Oak, and Spruce Creek from the hurricanes or rain events. And I got stuff from 2006, 2007. There was, I don't know, 200 pages of it or whatever. There was not one document that I got that covered that May event, that something was being done. I can't imagine there was not emails flowing back and forth that we got flooding down at the end of the road.
I will tell you that predominantly the May event affected so little out here other than this piece here where they were pumping. Okay, there were huge problems on the other end of town. Dunlawton was closed.
We understand.
Yeah. And it
was really flooded.
Yeah.
This had a little water standing in the road here. Yeah. That was flooded.
And the Port Orange Business Park was flooded. You know, there were a lot of very large problems on that end versus the problem that was here, which I understand.
Yeah.
She, like I, have a truck that goes through the
right.
water.
Yeah, and it was very important to them. My gosh, it was them. But
yes. My Corvette won't go through there, and that's okay.
Grace did?
Yeah.
I don't have a Corvette.
So Corvette did.
I understand, you know, that the issue was far more important to them than it was to you. And it was more important to them than it is to me. I mean, because
you were dealing with.
Well, I was dealing with that, and I live up on the Sand Ridge too, so I had no flooding. Okay, if I had to drive through 2 feet of water to get in and out of my subdivision, I'd have been very upset. Of course, I'm not in a subdivision, but like y'all, I've got 1 acre, and so I understand, you know, the issue now. Why there's nothing related to the May event for this area. Frankly, as far as I know, there were no homes here that were really impacted.
And I think I'm just going to ask for another public request for that very short period of time, a couple of months of time, and maybe it was inadvertently left out, and maybe I'll get some documents or whatever. But if not, then my assumption has to be it wasn't a huge thing because you all were dealing with bigger problems.
Well, I will tell you that Shirley Kelly, the city clerk, and her staff are very thorough when it comes to doing things like this, and if it was in there somewhere, she found it.
She found it. Okay.
Yeah. Now I know there was a map done.
Yes, and I've got the map, and we got the map, which told us there was no houses here affected, no houses in Spruce Creek Estate.
It was all down at the other end.
2 houses in Riverwood, and we actually talked to one of them, and she had water coming up on her back porch. And the other one wasn't home when we tried to talk to her.
And looking at that, it appears to be a landscaping problem more than anything else. The homeowner could take care of that quite easily.
Yeah, well, we find that a lot. People, you know, have lived in a home for 10 or 15 years, and we found this a lot after the '04 storms right down here. You know, they've planted trees, and then they say, well, you know, the yard slopes off a little bit here. I think I'll fill this in here. And you know, before you know it, you get 3 or 4 of them around there have done it, and now they've changed that flow.
Sure.
And all of the work that the engineers put into getting that to work properly up front has now been circumvented. And instead of flowing and moving on out to where it needs to go, it's sitting and it's stagnant, and they're calling and complaining to us because the standing water killed their grass.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what this looked like. The other one the driveway was level with the road. The driveway was down from the house and level with the road into the garage.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you that when they built the first part of the development here back in the 70s, I was working for Dunn Lumber at the time, and I was selling building materials, and I was actually out here a few times during that, and I was here delivering materials when they built Parkwood, the trailer park there. So that's how far back I go with it. The standard at the time was when the inspector would come in and they'd look at the slab and he'd look at the street and he'd say, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, now it's 4 feet and to the center of the road. You know, we've learned a lot, not just Port Orange, but you know, everybody in the last 40 years.
Codes have got a lot more stringent,
Yeah.
for good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Just exactly what we're going through right now.
Okay, well, I think that's all we have to show you. We appreciate you all's time, very much so.
Oh, you got to walk us back.
Oh, shoot. Not as